It's showtime. Now I'm gonna make my hint. I'm gonna make this paper disappear. It disappears. That's a joke. Thank you for watching these videos. I'm very grateful for you guys watching. Now, today is I want to do this book about this book. You probably know this guy. Well, if you don't know him, this guy is amazing. When I watched this video, he changed the way how I see life too. Because I look up to these guys because they're different. They're they're here to change lives. They're here not to be able to. I remember I was watching this guy was ranting on Tony Robbins, and he hates Tony Robbins, and he's like taking money from. You know, that's a very negative way of seeing things. Well, there are people like that, but um, so unlimited power, right? So what this book is about an internal dialogue within yourself. The story, the picture, the communication within with ourselves is that there is a certain point in your life that if because the story, the communication that we play in our mind is getting the results either that we want to produce and extending results or the results that we don't want to get ever. Never. So oh crap, I shouldn't do that. I'm gonna be talking. So today we'll be talking about I wrote it down since I'm not gonna do the more standing modeling, power of state, belief, NLP, or what is NLP, and the power of reframing the power of perspective. So let's start out with the modeling, right? So I can kind of, I do understand in a way that I can communicate with you through my message. So if we see the average person or the normal person or the person who aren't getting the results that they want. Why? Well, there are many reasons, but of course, the environment, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. It is who are they modeling? Meaning, there is a model of reality within their mind. Okay? They are probably modeling someone, that are not successful in any endeavors, or they're just modeling the average person because they don't know what to do. Most people are trying to look up for what to do in the world and try to produce that same result that the other person is doing. They may not be aware or conscious aware of it, but here's the thing: that model of reality that they're modeling someone, the footstep strategy. You may not say, "Oh, I didn't do that." It's a model, meaning it's a belief. It's a software. It's inside of you, a pattern, if you will. That's why you get the results that you want. Unless you can change it, plug it, and take out the software, the bug, because it's a bug. If you're not somehow producing the life, an outstanding life that you want, and you're always complaining and you're always seeking something wrong with the world, well, there's something inside of your mind that you're communicating to yourself and you're interpreting and you're seeing through a lens in which people see with their eyes, right? But they don't see how they interpret things. So, in your life, if you do want to get the result that you want, not the result that everybody else has, because everybody has a mode of reality that they communicate with themselves. So, whether it's our friends or peers or adults or parents, you're copying somebody, behavior, language, thoughts patterns, what is it, or a picture. Same pictures you communicate with yourself. So if we want to become successful, we must picture a different result, meaning we must be able to model someone ahead of us, maybe 20 years ahead of us. Because the reality is, the average person or the normal person don't want much. I get that. But I mean, I don't want them to live like that, but they create that model within themselves. They communicate that part of them. They communicate and tell a picture, a story, and it become them, right? So if my whole life. So let's put it in this context. My whole life, I never know successful people. I never communicate with successful. Yeah, in a sense, I have been communicating with successful people, but not in the degree that they're very successful. Okay, I never had a communication. Yeah, they may go through school and yeah, but that's everybody doing it, right? So that's the mode of reality they have, right? Everybody's modeling everybody, copying everybody, right? Social proof. Social proof is whatever else does to do it. The herd mentality. That's what they call it. And as you do that, you want to fit in. You don't want to be an outcast because it's not a good feeling. You want to fit in with your tribe, your community, as if you will. Like you see certain people who have a certain type of interest. They have a community of their own, and so does personal development. People who want to be successful, they have where successful people come together, and they call it a mastermind. Napoleon Hill stuff, and they come together and they 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 bounce ideas off each other, and they keep over time. They create that relationship, and therefore that person. Let's say this person, because you want a person who's successful 20 years ahead of you because they have the experience, they have the know-how, they already see the road ahead of you before, because the unsuccessful people don't have the mode of reality that is possible. Because there's successful people and then there's the unsuccessful people. Both type of people, right, play a very vastly different story inside their head. One person say they can't do it. The other person say they can. The other one say why can't be, what happened, bad luck, or why bad things happen to good people. While the other, they play a picture in their mind that they create the reality that they want. They go after it. They believe that it's going to happen, and they get it most of the time. They think about what they want most of the time, while this unsuccessful people think about what they don't want most of the time. It's a very different communication with each person. So whether your idol is a celebrity or a person of the celebrity or author is a best-selling author that you look up to, you want to take their results that they have and try to reproduce it into your life. For me, what I do is I ask, or you should do the same, ask the question, how is this person is getting the result that I want? How is he creating a level of amazing results? What can I do the same as them to be able to produce that results? And you search for their behavior, their knowledge, and you'll be able to create that in your reality. That you can do. That's called modeling. It's called copying. Copying, you'll become successful. You get the same results that they do. So if you don't want the result that unsuccessful people do, don't do what they do. Do what successful people do, right? That's what modeling is, ladies and gentlemen. You can ask a question, you can ask back a question, but it's up to you if you want to live the life that you want. Because I'll tell you now, most people moan and groan, and they don't do anything about it. They watch it because most people don't know successful people, as if ever. It's hardly find like you rarely find like highly successful people surrounding you unless you communicate with them, which you can. Next up, the power of state. The power of state is you can, it can change how you become resourceful or unresourceful. It can change the mood of your moment to moment, day to day, of how you can change what was it the ability to either respond or react. You know, so let's go from this because I can't. Let me see. No, I can. It's just that. Let me see. Okay, here we go. A state can be defined as the sum of the millions of neurological processes happening within. In other words, the sum total of our experience at any moment in time. Most of our state happen without any conscious direction of our part. We see something and we respond to it by going to that state. It may be resourceful and useful state or unresourceful and limiting state. But there's not much of that. Most of us, I messed up that one, but that's okay. But there's not much to control. The difference between those who fail to achieve their goals in their life and those who succeed is the difference between who can not put themselves in a supportive state and those who can consistently put them in a state that support them in their achievement. Almost everything people want is possible state. Make a list of things you want in life. Do you want love? Well, love is a state, a feeling or emotion we signal to ourself and within ourself based on certain stimuli from the environment. Confidence, respect. They're all things that we create. We produce these states within ourselves. Maybe you want money. Well, you don't care about having a little piece of green paper or do it with the face of resorted to these notables. You want what money represents to you, the love, the comfort, freedom, or whatever state you think it can help provide. So the key to love, the key to joy, the key to the one power that man has sought for years, the ability to direct his life, the ability to know how to direct and manage your state. The first key to directing the state and producing the result you desire in life is to learn to effectively run your brain. In other In order to do this, we need to understand a little bit about how it works. We need to know what creates a state in the first place. First of all, let me put this on about the brain. If you do not know how, if you, so there's two things that I want you to become aware. If you want your life to be able, if you want your life to go into a direction that you do want, you got to be able to don't let your brain run your life. You run your brain to make the brain. You tell the brain how you want things to be done, and you control your own behavior and get the result. Because either way, the brain or the subconscious or whatever, it will conjure up stories why can't you do things, why something bad will happen if you do this. It's fear, right? Fear, and it will play out. If you let that stop you, I'm telling you, you will not produce that result that you want. But it's how you use your own brain. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it make you become successful. Oh, thing that I want to talk about success before we talk about um, success, right? Everybody has their own definition of success, right? And I haven't talked about it for a while. So, success is whatever you want, right? Not what everybody else wants. So everybody wants different things. So everybody wants different successes, right? Now, success to a person is different from yours, right? You have this person and you have another person with you. Their success, and the other person's success, and your success is not is different. somehow most people always project their success to that person, say this is how you should do it, you should do it this way. But if you look at their life, they're not really successful. They say like that, but they don't not doing what they told you to do. You know, they're hypocrites. Not hypocrite, but uh, it's because they have a limiting belief system that they have. Most people have very limiting belief system about themselves, about the world, about their capability, about their potential, if you will. I used to have that. I used to have the limiting belief, the limiting belief. I mean, I said that knowledge, the capability of how I am and how I interpret that reality. I wish I would go back to the past and see how my mind plays, not to change my past, but to hear my thoughts, how they play, because my tape, my story, my conversation with myself, it's a very different story than it was then. I say why I can do it, not why I can't. Why I must go toward my fear, why I shouldn't do it because it could hurt me, maybe emotionally, mentally. But I gotta try because I have a chip on my shoulder. I got to do this. I must do this. I want to do this. Stuff like that. Because there are those people who don't believe in, uh, they believe in luck, they believe in waiting for a chance that, someday um, something good will happen to them. No, the only thing to success and luck and good things will happen as you start taking the action, even if you're afraid. I'm afraid. Most of the time when I go do what I do, I'm afraid that I might get rejected or rejected because it's not a good feeling, man. And I try not to take it personal. It's not that easy. I try to, but I learned in the process that it's fun sometimes because hey, you like I try to play with mine. I was like, yo, you know what? Let's see what can I do? What can I develop of who I am, and what can I do? For you as the audience or watching me, I want you to be able to understand what's the conversation between your mind, the story that you play. You know, whether it's good or bad, you can change the story. Where if you have I do have a long time ago I had a negative experience, but I reframe it. I tell a different story, meaning I can change negative to a positive. Let's say this circumstance is bad. I change to say that's good circumstances because it makes me become more aware, make me a more compassionate uh, human being, kindness, treat people the way they need to be treated. Sometimes people treat you don't want to be treated, but hey, you deal with that too. But not deal with, but in a way you can get them out of your life. You don't want to deal with those people. But I become more not wiser, but my awareness go up. The There's always good. I mean, there's always bad and there's good. That's reframing. Change that story. And what is NLP too? Oh yeah, before that I need to read here. If all behaviors result the state we're in, we may produce different communication behavior when we're in result state than we will when we are in unresourceful state. Then the next question is, what creates the state we're in? There are two components of states. The first is our internal representation, and the second is the condition and the use of our futurology. What and how you picture things, as well as how you say things to yourself about the situation at hand, create the state you're in, and thus the kind of results, behavior you produce. For example, how do you treat your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend when he or she comes home much later than promised? Well, your behavior will greatly depend on the state you're in when your loved ones return, and your state to a large degree was determined by what you've been representing your mind in a reason for the delay. If for hours you had been picturing this person you care about in the accident, bloody or dead, or hospitalized. As the person walks in the door, you may greet him or her with tears or a sign of relief or a big hug and question what happened. These behaviors spring from a certain of concern. However, instead you picture your loved one having a conceiving affair, or if you told yourself over and over that this person is late simply because he or she just doesn't care about your time or feelings, then what when your loved one arrive home, you will give him or her a fair different reception as opposed to state. Out of a state of feeling anger or feeling used, a whole new set of behaviors. This basically look like a story. So the story create in our mind the story, the picture, because Bob Proctor said we think in pictures. If you go into, for instance, let's bring this up. We think in pictures, right? Well, most people don't say they don't, can't visualize. I got that. But if you can go to picture of what kind of fridge do you have? What does it look like? What color is it? You get an image of your fridge, or you go into the car that you have. What what color is it? What type of model is it? You get a picture, or vice versa. Or your bedroom? What does it look like? Your picture come up, right? That's how, because I see it as this. Though most people don't see that the story that they play is the movie, but it's a story scene that plays. Like I remember I had this situation too. What they say, I remember my ex. She was going to class. It was late, and she was going to school late at night, and I wanted to talk to her. What happened is I feel like I don't know. I can't remember what story I was playing, but then I was like, I don't know what I was saying, but then I thought I was like, wow, why did I feel like that? It's because the story that I play. Because man, that's a horrible feeling, man. But it's the story that we play all the time, and it can change how we react to people too. It can change the colors, the context, the situation, and therefore, like I said, in all my videos, what I say is the eyes that you see with, the eyes that you use. There are five senses. Your eyes. Or the eyes that you use to see this chair behind my back, the wall behind the paper. That's your physical eyes. Now, here's the thing. Whether you don't know it or not, you are telling a story, right? You interpret the reality in your mind. Therefore, you project it out into the world. The story inside and it projects outside. Because the world is the mirror. The world is a reflection of your inner world. The inner world that you play a story, it basically bring out how you act toward a certain person, the world, people, your job, the environment that you surround yourself with. Because the idea and belief are the lens, or the story are the lens that you see the world with. It controls your perception. It controls how you behave towards yourself, communication, how you treat yourself too, how you treat others, how you act toward people in the world, or how you treat the world at large, how you say things, how you carry yourself. You tell your story. It's a story. I remember I used to tell a story that I'm not an American, but I am an American. Because I don't like that sound. Because I'm Asian. Like, I used to think like traditional, amazing way. I mean, traditional way, but now I'm more flexible. I'm fluent in my thinking. I'm more eclectic, meaning I am draw sorts, draw large sorts of information available to me. And then this is The next obvious question is what caused one person to represent things out of a state concern while the other creates internal representation that put her in a state of distress or anger? Well, there are many factors. We may have modeled the reaction of our parents or other role models to just experience. Exactly. So everything that we experience, who we are today, was these our past experience. Our past experience becomes our belief system, which create the results that we currently don't want. The past is the past, but something. So here's the thing: there is something that's holding us back from getting results. The past may be the past, and people say that we gotta let the past go. I do agree, but there's one thing that people don't understand. You have you can trap emotion inside. So you have to either let it, you gotta let your emotion heal. You gotta let it heal before you, uh, because heal, there's a thing that I don't talk about much, but it's a must. It's healing. You gotta heal your part of yourself that's hurt. Whether you had a bad experience with a significant other, you gotta let yourself heal, your heart heal. Because if you don't let that heal, you're gonna create the same result circumstances that you can, because you're carrying all that baggage, all the emotional baggage to your present, which create your future, right? You have to think about that. Um, when you were a child, your mother always worried when your father came home late. You may also represent things in the way that words your mother talk or how she couldn't trust your father. You may have modeled that pattern. Thus, our belief, attitude, values, and past experience with a particular person all affect the kind of representation we'll make about their behavior. Bam. That's good, right? So let's talk about the belief. There's, I think, 4 or 5 beliefs, right? He talked about in this one. He talked about the first source is the environment. The what the heck? The third source is knowledge. What's the second source? The environment. Third way to knowledge. And the fourth way is creating through our past results. And the fifth way is to our belief. So let's go through. I didn't do neuro-linguistic programming, so I should see that. Here we go. So what is NLP? NLP he came across is a science. Neuro-linguistic programming, NLP for short. If you analyze it, the name came from neuro, referring to the brain, and linguistic, referring to language. Programming, the installation of a plan or procedure. NLP is the study of language, both verbal and nonverbal, affect our nervous system. Our ability to do anything in life is based upon our ability to direct our own nervous system. Those who are able to produce some outstanding result do so by producing specific communication to and through the nervous system. Okay, let's do this. We gotta program. We gotta like condition our whole mind and body. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Like Tony Robbins. Yeah. Tony Robbins. Hey, I'm Tony Robbins. Sorry. But we gotta condition ourselves to believe that we can do it, and it change our behavior. So let's talk about. Oh yeah, belief. I'm gonna go belief system for a second. So many of us have a limiting belief, right? That we can't do things in life because something is stopping us. We usually think of belief in terms of creeds or doctrines, and that what many believe are, but in the most basic sense, a belief is many guiding principles, dictum, faith, or passion that can provide meaning and direction in life. Unlimited stimuli are available to us. Belief are the prearranged, organized filter to our perception of the world. Belief are like commander of the brain. When we congruently believe something is true, it's like delivering a command to our brain as to how to represent what is occurring. So here we go. Belief, oh, I like this one. Belief are the compass and map that guide us toward our goals and give us the surely to know we're getting there. Without belief, or the ability to tap into them, people can be totally disempowered. They they're like a boat without a motor or rudder. With powerful guiding belief, you have the power to take action and create the world you want to live in. Belief helps you to see what you want and energize you to get it. There's no more powerful directing force in human behavior than belief. In essence, human history is the history of human belief. The people who have changed history. The more we learn about human behavior, the more we learn about the external power that belief have over our life. In many ways, that power defies the logic models most of us have, but it's clear that even at the level of physiology, belief congruent internal reputation controls reality. So let's talk about the okay. So let's talk about the first source of environmental belief. This is where the cycle of success breeding success and breeding failure are played out in the most relentless fashion. The little horror of ghetto life is not the daily frustration and deprivation. People can overcome those. The real nightmare is the effect of those environment has on belief and dream. If all you see is barrier, if all you see is despair, it's very hard for you to form the internal reputation that will foster success. Remember, in the last chapter, we said modeling is something we do consistently. If you grow up in wealth and success, you can easily model wealth and success. If you grow up in poverty and despair, that's where your model possibly comes from. Environment is the single most potent genre of belief, but it's not the only one. It's a world we live in, a static world where children of wealth would not only wealth, and the children of poverty would never rise above their origin. Instead, there are other experiences and ways of learning that can also be incubator belief. Events, small or large, can help foster belief. There are certain events in everyone's life that we'll never forget. Da, 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 da. But where's the second? A third way to foster belief is through knowledge. A direct experience is one form of knowledge. Another is gained through reading, seeing movies, viewing the world as it's portrayed by others. Knowledge is one of the great ways to break the shackle of limitation environment. No matter how grim your world is, you can read about accomplishment of others. You can create the belief that you allow you to succeed. Uh, so the reason why I can be able to create the story that I can see I see successful people, and I surround them, surround myself with successful people. They have a different story. Good God, they play why they can instead of why they can't. They play that in order to get from here to there, they need to know. They need to ask questions. They are curious because the ones who are unsuccessful, they don't ask a lot of questions. They're afraid to get out of their comfort zone. Comfort zone is a big deal because in order to get the good thing in life, you need to be uncomfortable. But the reason why you're stuck there, they call it the homostasis, which is whenever you try to do something new and it feels uncomfortable, it tries to pull you back. It's a thermostat. Okay? It's trying to make you to where you're comfortable, a set point, if you will, right? But you have to stretch within your mind because it's a stretch. It's not physical, it's the mind, if you will. The mind makes you do that. It's you, like, if you want that, you have to get uncomfortable. You know how many times I am so uncomfortable. I'm scared. I am afraid what happens, but I never do. Sometimes I do, but it's some. What I'm talking about is what am I referring to? I want to interview authors. What can I do to get there? There's a story that I play that I told myself that I do have the fear, but I play, no, I gotta do this because it's my dream and I don't want to live like most people do. So I go towards it. And I'm happy. Because the fourth way is that results are created through past results. The surest way to create belief that you can do something is to do it once, just once. If you succeed once, it's far easier to form that belief you will succeed again. Have you ever had that experience in your life that you succeed in something? I'm sure that everybody has. It's just that everybody push out the um, away. I remember I had from boarding school. I had two certificate of from boarding school. Got my GED, but okay, people care. I mean, most of the world care about these piece of paper, but what I really care about is what you. It's not what you did in the past. It's what you're doing today and what you're going to do. It's where. It's not where you were born. It's not where you were. Where what who you are in the past. It's where you're going and who you will become in the process. It's not neither. People always look at your circumstances now and they project how they project your trajectory, your they project how your life's going to be based on your current situation, or that's why I don't like the IQ, because they project how what your intelligence is, and therefore you cannot improve your intelligence, or you can't improve how to increase your intelligence. No, man, they project you. If you're dumb, you're dumb, and that's your whole life, and that's how you live your life. You're not, and they project you. Oh, you're not going to be successful. Why? Because they look at your circumstances, your current circumstances, and they say like that. But no, that's not how the world works. That's a very, if we live that world, I would hate to live that world. I mean, of course, people live that world now. It's because they see that for themselves. But so let's continue where we left off. I don't know what happened, so I'll just edit this in. Just so we're talking about the past create, your success once, right? But what they find is that if they succeed once or twice, they know they'll succeed in the future. They don't get smarter or quicker as they get older. But once empowered with the belief that they can knock out a story in whenever time is available, they found they can always do it. The same is true for comedians, businessmen, or people in just about any other walk of life. Believing it can be done become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The fifth way to establish belief is through the creating of your mind, of the experience you desire in the future as if it were here and now. Just as past experience can change your internal representation and thus what you believe is possible, so can you imagine experience of how you want things to be in the future. I call this experience results in advance. When the result you have around you are not supporting you in being a powerful, effective state, you can simply create the world the way you want it to be and step into that experience. Therefore, thereby changing your state, you believe in your action. It's the same thing as the law of attraction. Right? The law of attraction, if you envision it, you embody it, you visualize it as if you're already there. You create a picture, you create a mental picture that you experience it, therefore you attract into your life the very picture that you see yourself doing. And what happened is, Brian Tracy said, you're telling your future in advance. Meaning, you may say you already have. You're telling yourself your future in advance. You're basically your whole life is you're telling your fortune, either bad luck or good luck. It's all on your mind. Next will be reframing. Now I like the reframing stuff. Kind of interesting. Dang. Here we go. I'm trying to see. Many times by changing this habitual perception pattern, we can create greater choice for our lives. It's important to remember that perceptions are created. I never actually thought of that before. That is, if we perceive something as a liability, that the message we deliver to our brain, then the brain produces states that make them in reality. If we change our frame of reference by looking at the same situation from a different point of view, we can change the way we represent in our life. We can change our representation or perception about anything, and in the moment change state and behavior. Our state and behavior. This is what reframing is all about. Remember, we do not see the world as it is because how things are can. The heck? How things are can be interpreted from many point of views. How we are our frames of reference, our map defines the territory. It's important to note that our past experience regularly filter our ability to see what is really happening in the world. But there's multiple ways to see it or experience any situation. The key to success in life is to consistently represent your experience in a way that support you in producing even greater results for yourself and others. Reframing in the simplest form is changing a negative statement into a positive one by changing the frame of reference used to perceive the experience. There are two major types of reframes or ways to alter our perception about something: context reframing and content reframing. Both alter your external representation by resolving internal pain or conflict, therefore putting you in a more resourceful state. Context reframing involves taking an experience that seems too bad, upsetting, and undesirable and show how the same behavior or experience is actually a greater advantage in another context. Great innovators made by those who know how to reframe activity and problem into potential resource in other contexts. Content reframing involves taking the exact same situation and changing what it means. Any kind of content reframe is to actually change the way you see, hear, or represent a situation. If you're upset about someone you said to you may envision yourself smiling and he says same negative words expressing the totality of your favorite singer. Or you may see the same experience in your brain, only this time with speaker surrounded by your favorite color. Or you may even change what he said to you in the first place. As you re-experience your mind, you may hear him apologize to you, or you can see him speaking to you from a perspective that put you in very high above him. Reframing this situation, same stimulus change the meaning sent to the brain, thus state and behavior associated with it. This book is full of reframing. So the way I say about reframing, I remember I was working and I couldn't get it right, so the boss was yelling at me. And what happened is I let that flow. I didn't put emotion the way it didn't affect me greatly. It's just a story that I play, meaning that it may seem bad to other people and they may get angry and shout. But what happens, I saw it as he's not angry at me. He's just angry that I couldn't get it done. It's not. So I was like, okay. The way you change the story, the way you change the situation, let's say if it's an outcome that is bad, you change the story around it, the context, make it that, for me, let's say something bad happened to me, right? Maybe that there's a good to this somehow. I'll find it, because if whatever you find, you will see it, you will find it. And as I said, maybe it's for the greater good of my growth, conscious, and understanding of where I can adjust and change, or that maybe that this circumstance make me grow and to be able to attract more high level of successful people into my life. The experience make me more valuable in the process of that, and it gave me the ability to communicate with these medium, the video contacts, through these medium with either written words, written words or video where you see me talking is this, that I change the story around which is happening. Sometimes it's hard because you feel like as if it wasn't your fault, but at the same time we have to take responsibility for our action, right? Not many people want to do that. It's not easy. So anything that you don't produce results is your fault, because I got it from Gary Vee. But in a context, in order to change, we all have a frame, right? Frameworks. We have to change the context that we see things and put different meaning into it. And we see that situation is bad. Maybe it may be bad, but we can change it the way we put the meaning to it. Because the way that we say the situation is bad is we put emotion and meaning into it. Therefore, it becomes the story of your life. You tell that aspect is what's real. It is real and it happened to your experience, but it's also how you experience it. This is the story that you play. So you can change the way your perception works to a positive. Because so many of our stories are so negative that we have to change the context that is positive. So that's it. I forgot. I mean, not forgot. That's it for today for the talk of about how your mind and how reality work. Because the reality is your belief, the story, the framing that you do, the belief, the modeling that you do affect the way you act towards you, behave towards the world, behave towards certain people, certain things. But you get to decide to change it. We're not a victim of our belief system. We're not a victim of our story. We're not a victim of the way we see things. We are not a victim of how we treat ourselves. So that's it for today, folks. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next time. Bye.